Welcome back to the GameSpeak podcast. I am your usual host, Snoo603. Joining me is the usual crew, Scanner Barkley, Epona, and Why Not the Tiger. For anyone that's new here, although at this point I think we've got pretty much regular viewers. I hope we're getting new ones. But anyone that's new, we're just a couple of random people that like talking a lot about video games. And the beauty of our podcast is that it is entirely community driven. All the topics we discuss are picked by you guys, the community members. If you want to know where you can do that, you can go to our website, dawnbreakergaming.com, and in the forums, we have a special subforum for the podcast. And in there, every week, we create a new thread that you can add your topics to weekly. From there, we go through, we just highlight everything, throw it on a Google Doc, we write our own notes, and if we can hit everything, cool. If not, not a big deal. We leave them for the next week if we have time. Some of them are good, some of them are, it is what it is. We do our best to hit everything, though. Last week we did something different, though. Last week we covered host topics, which is really cool. We had a special guest, Dolce. For anyone that doesn't know him, he's a great Battlefield 4 YouTuber. He's a great dude. He was a fucking awesome guest to have last week. Everyone meshed really well. Things were great. So this week we're getting back on track to doing the whole community topic thing. Before I get into it, we have a special announcement that we kind of did like a soft launch for last week, and now we want to make it official. We have launched a Patreon page for Dawnbreaker Gaming. It doesn't just benefit the site. It benefits the site and the podcast. Hopefully there's enough people here, but pay attention. Yeah, see, Tony, pay attention, people. I will go ahead and drop the link, bam, in the chat. So what we're looking for from the Patreon, oh shit, hang on. I just realized my mic is not in the greatest alignment. My apologies, guys. Hopefully that sounds better. So what we're looking for the Patreon is, it's kind of twofold. Most important of all, everything benefits you guys, the community. But on top of that, it's going to benefit the site too. But anything that benefits the site directly benefits you guys. In short, to summarize it as quickly as possible, all of the improvements to the site that we want to do through Patreon just makes everything faster or offers more features. And that can be done in the form of, like a light server upgrade, which we're paying for out of pocket right now that we really can't sustain forever. So hopefully we can get that first goal out of the way and offset that cost, because that'd be really helpful. And then, open up a TeamSpeak with the Dawnbreaker Gaming, name behind it, so that, Red Panda. So that way you guys all have a safe spot to go, because like the whole thing with the community that we've always had and really strive to have for is just a really good, strong, positive community basically free of haters. So we have the website already that we can do that, but we want to extend it. Like, we'd like to have a TeamSpeak where people that, kind of don't have their own home to go and meet other people, they can use Dawnbreaker to do that. And then from there, we like to extend it and get some game servers up. We'd love to get one for DayZ, because then the beauty of that is we can kind of create basically a list of approved players to go onto it, be password protected, keep it hacker free, so that the experience is always good. Or, if people want Battlefield 4, we can do that. We can do Battlefield Hardline when that comes out. When we hit that milestone, we'll do things like that. But that's the gist of it. So, if you guys can envision what it is that we're trying to accomplish, and you want to get in on that, we would greatly appreciate the support, because we're like 110% into this website right now. We're stoked on it. We're getting a ton of content out. We're just kind of re-envisioning things as we go along here, but it's getting better by the day, and I'm really excited about it. Epona, do you want to add anything to my non-stop ramble here?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it, because I remember months and months ago, we were talking about how we wanted, a place where people could hang out, and also, just have user reviews that aren't, these people just trying to crank out reviews to get views on YouTube and whatnot. And also, I mean, the developer in me is pretty excited about the game pages, and you can go and check release dates on the calendar, and there's not really anywhere else to do that all in one spot. So definitely the release date calendar is one of my faves as well.
Yeah, it's got a couple of unique features on there that we absolutely love, and the release calendar thing is certainly one of my favorites. That when the opponent came up with the idea, I was like, that actually sounds really fucking cool. And it doesn't just cover US dates, it covers multiple regions.
Yeah.
US, Europe, UK, because apparently Europe and UK have different release dates. Yeah, Japan, Australia. I think that's it. I think those are all the ones we covered. I think there's like a couple of niche ones here and there, but it's like very, very rare occasions where those 5 time zones don't cover everything.
Plus, Scanner Barkley's sitting on one of the most original, never been done before concepts for an article about gaming in history.
Oh.
So fund the fucking thing and I'll write the damn article. I ain't giving this shit away for free. I'll give everything away for free except this one idea because it's actually fantastic. But then it's like a catch-22 because if I wrote it and if it's going to be as amazing as I think it is, it would bring a lot of attention to the site. And then we get more funding from all these randos who show up and are like, clearly this Scanner Barkley guy is some kind of fucking genius. Let's
Throw it
fund
all
shit into this
at
website.
you.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of things we can do that'd be great. So, I mean, aside from the Patreon, like, I have had a donate link on this Twitch stream for, like, almost a year now. I've never brought attention to it. I think I've mentioned it maybe, no joke, 3 times in the past year. And that's it. And it was just kind of joking around. Taking it seriously from this point forward, if you guys want to donate, like, that would be hugely helpful. And during the GameSpeak podcast, any donations that come in, we're splitting it 4 ways. And it all goes back into production quality. So everyone can get nice new headphones if they need it. Everyone can get mic upgrades if they need it. They can build stuff to build backdrops so we're not looking at people's living rooms if need be.
Fuck is wrong with my living room, bitch?
We can do all sorts of things. And having donations would certainly help that out. But not a huge deal.
Look, if having this wall behind me is such an issue, I want you to consider this, right? That's a wall that's owned. Like that's a Scanner Barkley owns this wall. That ain't no rent wall. That ain't no fucking mortgage wall. That's a Scanner Barkley rolled up. He paid cash for his house like a fucking player, and that's his fucking wall. So
Skinner, you're the champion of champions.
that'll help you out there. Got a discount as well because they're like, I'll get sell my house to a guy with a fucking beard. It's on.
Oh, all right. Hang on. I'm just trying to look into one thing right now. Oh, who's this person? Oh, okay. Sorry. Looking into something, I got distracted. I had a message I had to take care of.
Crafty's in the chat.
Crap. Did I miss him? I see him. Titwinks.
Oh,
It's a nice name. I like that.
So happy.
No, Conrad, it's not really a clan website. To put it simply, it is a news website, but different in the sense of we're not paid by advertisers. We're advertiser free. We're just doing it for the fuck of it, for the fun of it, because it's fun. We like talking about video games, so we just kind of create a whole new avenue to do it. And it's not just us. It is community-driven as well. It's actually more community than it is myself and Epona. Anyone that wants to write about a game can do so. We've had 10 different people so far submit reviews, and most have been posted. We've got, I think, 2, maybe 3 sitting in the wings that are just getting wrapped up and ready to get posted either this week or next week. It's just a bunch of people that are really, really passionate about games, have extensive knowledge about a specific game, and they want to share that with other people. We're not driven by YouTube views or anything. We're not driven by certain developers that, you know, they've got people in their back pocket trying to hype their game and not give you the true bottom line of it. Like I said, we're just passionate gamers that want to talk about gaming, and we care about quality above everything else. So nothing's rushed. It's done at our own pace to make sure that it's done to the level of quality and detail that we want. There's no time frame to it. That's the big thing. Nothing's rushed out. So, I mean, anything... we have a lot of stuff on there. Right now, we've actually been focusing a lot on doing Steam sale highlights, because there's a lot of games that have come up on sale that ourselves or other people in the community have played and really love, and they're like, holy shit, that's a good deal. So just do a quick little highlight on it, give you a very little quick recap of it, and explain why you think it's a good deal, give you the price, where it's located, the whole 9 yards. You can pick it up. So that's one of the things we've been doing lately that actually was courtesy of Fake Thriller. It was an excellent idea by him. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
I'll post some relevant links.
There you go. Epona's got it.
I think the site has a couple of strengths that if I'm going to segue for a second, but there's a couple of strengths to Dawnbreaker that kind of make it matter a little more to me when I see, like, not my own reviews obviously because I know what my own opinion is, but when I see people writing their review, it's just, I don't know, if like it feels a bit more real to me that's maybe how the person actually feels. than if I'm reading a review on some like major news website where it seems to be more of a consensus. Like, this is the view that we as a website are going to take on this game. It either falls in line with our ideals or it doesn't. And I don't know, that always feels a bit sticky to me. A lot of reviewers these days, I don't really feel like I'm getting their genuine opinion on a game. But I know on Dawnbreaker that the reason somebody is writing a review is because they have something that they actually really want to say about the game, and they feel that it's important to say it one way or the other.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. I'm also going to segue a little bit because the reason I'm really excited about Dawnbreaker, and I'm like, this is how excited I am about Dawnbreaker. I'm actually changing the entire like scheduling of my channel, like how often I upload videos to my channel, so I have more time to write for Dawnbreaker and Anxious, which will be launching on Thursday. So like, I really want to focus on writing over the next year. There's going to be a lot of focus, so I'm going to try and bring some interesting shit to Dawnbreaker, which I hope people enjoy reading. But it is going to get weird in places, so deal with it. Yeah, that's just what it's going to be. Like, I'm nearly finished an article which should be up by the end of the week, maybe. Well, it's nearly the end of the week already, and I've got Tag launching on Thursday, so it'll be up on Monday. I'll promise Monday, where I talk about why the game Crisis 2 reminds me of my dad, which is going to be an interesting read.
I actually look forward to
cool.
that.
So I want to defend the game because I always really liked the game, even though it was heavily derided by people who enjoy Crisis, as you would, because it's kind of a shitty fucking game. But
I love the multiplayer, I must say, because I'm a scrub. But yeah, it was shit.
I always really liked the game and the campaign and everything. It's like a bad B movie. Like, you just can't help but like them sometimes. And I wanted to figure out why, and then I figured out it reminded me of my old man. So I'm like, I better write about this because it's weird. He wasn't happy when I told him either. I told him over Christmas, I'm writing an article about you, and he's like, what for? Gaming website. What about? A game reminds me of you. And he's like, one of those shitty fucking games you play reminds you of me. I must be a fucking idiot.
Bam. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Rhino, thank you for registering on the site. Appreciate it, man. I meant to get that Twitch alerts thing set up, but Reno, sorry. Well, it looks like Rhino, but Reno. Okay, my fault.
I'm the only one who says it right. I'm just messing.
Yeah, I meant to get the Twitch alerts thing up so that when people went ahead and followed or donated or whatever.
I have that shit. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but I'm feeling extremely under the weather. If I look chipper and cheery, it's not at all accurate of how I'm actually feeling. I've been fucking feeling like shit all day. So, I guess to wrap it up, if you guys want to help support us, like, I know there are a bunch of other channels out there that receive ridiculous donations all the time, on a freaking nightly basis, on like a minute by minute basis even, whether it's directly donating on here or supporting the Patreon. Like, anything you guys can do, even if it's just kind of spreading the word on it, would seriously greatly appreciate it. To be 110% completely truthful and honest with you guys, up until 2 years ago, I never envisioned this as a potential career path. And now I see it as potentially being that. And, man, if this is the start to doing something cool. And you know what? If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. And I don't have, it's not really what I have my sights set on. But the idea of it is extremely appeasing to me, or appealing. And if I can make it happen, you got to start somewhere, right?
Do you have any idea how amazing it would be for me personally if this whole thing took off and led to a career? A career that I could have from my sitting room. That's like the end goal for agoraphobics right there. you don't even gotta leave your house to work. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah. I should say that as well regarding the Patreon. It doesn't just support myself and Epona. It will go on to support other people. And as we get to higher and higher goals, we can afford to pay people to contribute on a regular basis. So the quality of content still remains the same because we're going to be able to pick and choose who exactly we want. But, now we can actually pay them, give them a little more incentive to actually contribute on a very regular basis, which is always huge. I mean, I think that's it. We've covered it enough. Hopefully you guys are there to help us out. Understand if you can't. Not everyone can. It's cool. I understand. Our monkey, thank you for following, dude. Or sorry, thank you for registering the site. We appreciate it. And you main bear man, thank you for following. All right, so let's get into it. Without further ado, topics. Let's see here. Oh, look at this one. Everyone responded to all these comments. Oh, no, Tony missed one. Terrible.
What?
That's okay. That's just like giving you shit.
Scanner. That's scanner.
Wait, no.
Orange
no, green.
Scanner.
I know. I'm looking at green text. Oh wait.
I responded to every one of them. What are you talking about?
You're right.
Actually,
It
there
is
was
scanner.
an extra one from Sir Dan. He posted it this evening, and nobody responded to it. So.
Did you add it to the
Put
document?
Well, I just put it in there. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, that's all right.
That's why I didn't
If we got time
respond.
for it, we'll get to it.
The Sir Dan is my man. I'd always respond to him.
All right. Wait, crazy cookies. I gotta set up the fucking Nightbot. God damn it! Swear to God, I'll get everything this done. Get the.
I'll add it to the to-do.
Yes,
Thanks,
please.
cookies.
Thank you,
Good
cookies.
heads up.
Slats, no more beer. I got water. Trying to lose weight. I am losing weight. Doing good. All right, enough. We're sidetracked.
Beer must be a command. Actually, that is awesome.
It is. We can make that happen. Okay, so first topic is from Heplinger. How do you feel about the current state of AI in games? Should developers put more time into creating more believable and dynamic AI, or is single player only about story and multiplayer is where we should go for challenging opponents? Skinner, you had a metric fuck ton to say about this. Actually, Tony did too. So I'm going to let you guys duke it out to see who wants to start with that.
That's not a metric fuck ton.
Well,
That's not
compared to
even
everything
close.
else, it's actually quite a bit.
That's like a tiny little thing.
Well, no, in comparison to what you
You
wrote
can
for notes
tell.
on
You
everything
can
else.
tell that me and Tony are so academic compared to you uncouth plebeian.
Okay, mine's tiny, so I'll just start. Fuck you guys.
There you go.
Games that came to mind for me were
Snoop could say that too.
Bioshock.
Aw.
Ooh, burn. Or,
Fuckers. I hate
penis
y'all.
joke. High five. games that came to mind for me were Bioshock Infinite, because I really liked Elizabeth as a character, and I appreciated that she didn't get in my fucking way all the time like you do if you have companions in Skyrim and Mass Effect. And I mean, Mass Effect wasn't as bad, but Skyrim especially, Fallout and Skyrim. Ooh. And Shadow of Mordor, because I really liked their addition of the Nemesis system, where the enemies remember you and you die and they taunt you and they have personalities, and I just thought that added a layer of depth to the game that was really interesting. And if it was something that was integrated further into other games, I think it could really change the way stories are told and kind of shift the weight to, characters and enemies in the games. But that was what I had to say about that.
Yeah. I like Titanfall as an example of a good solid use of AI in a game, because like the grunts and the specters and whatnot, I like the way they interact with what's around them and their threat priority, and the fact that despite people's attempt to dismiss them as like a non-important element from the game, they have like real impact and they make it feel more real. Like when you're running past the grunt, he's like, "Oh my God, it's a pilot!" Like he's all like, "Wow, maybe someday I'll be a pilot too." And you run past another dude, and he's like, "I don't see what the fucking big deal is about these guys. Like they're just fucking chumps." It adds to the environment in which you play, which is kind of funky. That this is gonna sound weird. Like I do think there's lots of room to improve how AI like behaves and how smart it acts within a game when it comes to like trying to flank you and like support and all that kind of stuff. But I never want to see perfect AI within a game, because some of my favorite gaming moments from the last year have actually been because of buggy AI. Like it's really fucking weird sometimes. It adds to those real kind of surrealist moments sometimes in games. Like I was playing Advanced Warfare. There's this huge fight going on. Like people are exploding and things are fucking on fire and everybody's shouting at me, and this AI has fucking bugged out. He's standing up on a balcony and he's just sprinting up and down the balcony non-stop, and that's all he's doing. But it looks like he's real health conscious. Like he's out doing his wind sprints on his fucking balcony, and no war is going to stop this guy from cardiovascular workouts. It's not going to fucking happen. And it was so surreal. I actually stood there, and because it's COD, I didn't fucking die because nothing is actually shooting at me. Like I just stood there watching him for a good maybe fucking 5 minutes, just completely having a weird existential crisis about what the fuck this AI was trying to do. Like, why the fuck is he running back and forth? What's the big fucking deal? What does he know that I don't? It was awesome. But yeah, that's why I never want to see perfect AI, because bugged AI is fucking hilarious.
That's a point I had not considered when this topic was brought up. To echo Scanner's point, yes, I am a pleb when it comes to gaming because I really only play one kind of game, and I live for PvP multiplayer. I like playing against real people because I feel like that's where I'm getting the most challenging environment possible. So basically any sort of shooter, online multiplayer shooter is where I'm at. So my experience with AI is pretty damn limited. In the few instances or few games I have played where AI has been prominent, say the most recent example I have is BioShock Infinite, it hasn't been terrible that I thought, gee, they really should work on this. But I guess thinking about it, if I had to think of, okay, well, what would be my ideal kind of AI in any game I played where AI was like the thing, so like a campaign style game, like I said, BioShock Infinite, I'd want something that's adaptive. If I remember correctly, and Epona, you're the resident expert on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but in Destiny, the AI is fairly predictable. They've got like pretty predictable pathing, and yeah, you can work around that, and it kind of removes some of the skill in it. I would like to see AI that's a lot more intuitive and adaptive to you specifically, to each player's specific game style, so that there is no predictability or a lot less predictability to it, therefore kind of upping the degree of difficulty. And then just how adaptive they can be is where that's changed in the difficulty level as you play through. If there's easy, normal, and then hardcore, your three usual basic difficulty modes when going through any campaign, like hardcore would be fucking difficult because, say, like the first 2 minutes you're in this big boss fight, and something like this would probably, we'll say, take 5 minutes. And the first 2 minutes, the AI is learning from you, trying to figure out what you're doing, see if there's any patterns of what you're doing, and then it adapts to that, and it actually, like, kind of try and anticipates what you're going to do and moves in ahead of you, and it makes things really difficult. Like, to me, like, that sounds like fucking sweet AI system. So moving forward, if they could do something like that, and you know what, I could sound really dumb right now, maybe there's already a game that has that, but again, I don't know, because I'm a gamer pleb and I only like one kind of game, so how would I know?
AI,
you ever played Brothers in Arms?
No.
Oh, that didn't have adaptive AI.
Really?
Yeah, it was because it was a sort of a first-person shooter / squad-based game where you controlled a fire squad, a World War II based game. Fire squad and basically suppressing, fire squad and assault squad, right? And you told them where to go, and depending on where you position your players, your squad mates, the enemy AI would react to it, and they'd move around. So it was a pretty interesting. It's a very simple adaptive AI, but it adapts to the changing environment, not just like staying stationary and waiting to get shot in the butt.
Yeah, a recent game I really liked was Wolfenstein, because the bad guys would try and actively flank you instead of just like endlessly walking down this corridor at you.
I was unpleasantly surprised by that a few times.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're getting shot in the booty.
Yeah.
And like if a guy has a shotgun, he's gonna push in on you real aggressively because shotguns will fucking shit you up. And the guys with rifles will actually try and cover him as he's going in. They'll try and keep you like pushed back behind cover while the shotgunner is coming around to get you.
You're really giggling like a little boy about that joke.
I am, because your face you made. I regret nothing. I'm sorry. Look at Jess, you derailed Scanner's point.
I didn't.
No,
that was
I made
you.
my point succinctly for once.
Just for once. I don't. What is succinctly? I don't. That's not my vocabulary.
Of course it's not. It's
nothing.
Right.
Nothing I do is succinct.
I'll work on a scanner to Snoov dictionary.
Oh, good.
Well, Scanner, I don't know. He seems to have done a good job with his notes.
See, I deserve more credit than you guys give me. At least some of the time.
Nope. Dispute.
Fuck y'all. I don't know.
I like that Tony used Goomba Stomped as a Verb.
Yeah.
An
Yes.
adverb.
It's kind of funny because I was, from my limited Titanfall experience, my opinion of the AI in Titanfall is really low, and they just kind of felt like my expectation of the AI was that it was going to be a little bit harder, that they were going to be an actual factor, and there were so many times where you could just run by them and they would barely shoot at you.
Yeah, but you got to make them a factor. That's the thing.
Well, see, and I understand it because like it's an objective. Like you have to kill as many as possible. And
I'm being stared at.
That's weird.
Is it? How creepy is that? She's like.
Is that a penguin above you?
Yes.
The dog? Okay, just double checking.
She's saying, "Bitch, shut up."
Still staring.
You're ruining nap time.
Yeah, no kidding. So, anyways, yeah, I just
when I'm trying to sleep.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, it was just I just kind of was expecting a little bit more out of it. I was kind of expecting when you do like the combat training in Call of Duty and you could turn the AI up to like insane or whatever, and it would just like turn on you and destroy you. Well, not like that, but like toned down to almost like a normal, because Call of Duty did a decent job with AI when you're doing the combat training. It was either they had like three. I think it was like 3 different levels, like easy, medium, and hard or whatever. And hard would just like turn on you and destroy you at a moment's notice. But it was a challenge, and it showed that there could be AI in a game, and it could be a difficult AI to attack and to destroy. And then that's kind of what I was getting at with there's a couple things. I've always hated AI in single player campaigns just because when you're playing in a shooter, your AI comrades will never kill the enemy AI. They just sort of are there to make noise and curse and shit. You're just like, oh god, there's a guy to the right.
Yeah, it's like the A-team.
Yeah, exactly. And then the enemy is always shooting at you, and no matter where you go, they're always fixated on you. And so the enemy AI and the allied AI never engage each other, and it's frustrating. So it would be nice to get into an environment where you're not this lone protagonist that has to destroy the world or destroy everybody to save the world. It'd be nice if some of your teammates would pick up from time to time, pick up the slack.
Get some fucking justify their paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about in the notes was racing games. Like racing games, the AI is pretty notorious for being bad and slow. And with Assetto Corsa, that's I think it just came out on their final release version, just came out recently. Their AI is notorious for being overly aggressive and reckless, and so it's hard to find a good AI for racing games. And I know a lot of people want that because they don't want to have to wait around for a whole lobby of players to come around to play. So being able to sit back, relax, and get in a couple races that are challenging races with the AI is something that I know a lot of people are looking forward to and want.
I think, if I remember correctly, Rent Panda, his review for Assetto Corsa is coming up, hopefully by the end of this week. And I know you read it, and he said that the AI in that can be very challenging because there's a difficulty slider to it. Like a slider for the difficulty level.
Yeah. So you can adjust the difficulty. The Assetto Corsa has done things that you can adjust the difficulty. So you can make it like 80% difficult or 120% difficult. And if I remember correctly, there's a button you can click for bumping into cars, because they will basically, like, if you're occupying an area that they want to occupy, they'll push you out of the way. Like it basically turns into bumper cars.
Yes, he did mention that.
Yeah, and so finding the balance between that for racing games would be great. And I just watched a video recently. I think it was a Race Room Experience video of a DLC that's coming out or has come out, and apparently the AI in that is pretty top notch. So I'll have to give that a try here real soon.
Nice. See, I think in that instance, I like where AI can be. AI is a good thing. It can be extremely helpful. Because those racing sim games have got a ridiculously high skill ceiling. And if you're just constantly going up against fucking tryhards all the time, shit's gonna get annoying real fast. There is that old argument of doing anything with people that are much better than you is good for you because you will eventually get better. But to an extent, I mean, if you're just hopping in and getting raffle stomped by people over and over again, there's no fun in that. You got to have something to start out with to kind of get in a good groove, and then from there you can continue up the difficulty level of your competition, and then from there, take it from there.
You know what? Here's an interesting thing. I actually got talking about AI in sports games, and I was thinking about this because I just picked up Madden 15 because I'm a glutton for punishment apparently, and but what I was talking about was baseball, and I've played baseball all my life. I've got 20 years of playing baseball. I've played baseball way more than I've done anything else in total amount of time besides living, and so the weird thing about when I play baseball games is I don't want a difficult AI. Like, I played baseball for real. I played it at a competitive level in high school, and then sort of in a men's league was like between high school and like a junior college level of competition. So when I play a video game that's based on baseball, so like MLB The Show, I actually just want to shit all over the AI. I want to be that guy who hits 50 home runs a year because, I never hit more than 2 home runs in a season playing baseball. So it's kind of interesting that, there are some people that want more difficult AI for a better gaming experience. But then I think for myself, and it goes with football too. Like, I like to have, a 7 touchdown game. I don't know why, but I just like to shit all over AI in sports games.
I think as long as you have the range capability, then it's good. It's just all about variety, right? And AI difficulty is different.
And I don't know if better AI necessarily means more difficult AI, because I think maybe more sophisticated, like with the Wolfenstein, I don't think the AI being better at flanking and stuff is necessarily harder. It just kind of makes me not sit behind one box the entire time and shoot. So it's not necessarily more difficult. And also, there's different AI, like the director in Left 4 Dead, and what game was I fucking thinking of? Quiet. Anyway,
she's trying to remind you of what game you're thinking of.
That plans out what to send at you depending on Alien Isolation. They have like a whole entire, like, you turn on dev mode and there's just a wall of processes that are related only to the alien and remembering like what it did and where it went and when this sound played and yada yada, etc., just to make the experience more random and kind of suspenseful. So I don't think that better AI necessarily means like impossible to beat AI.
So it sounds like you want more of like an immersive AI.
Yeah. I think all around, I mean, that could make it more difficult. Or it could just make it a cooler experience overall. Like with Shadow and Mordor.
I gotcha. I follow. Alright, I think that's actually a good point to probably shift it along. We've beaten this topic up pretty well. There's a lot more to cover in a short amount of time. Should have done further ado. Next one. This one's from Limit. He says, what do you guys think about the recent Microsoft Sony hack on Christmas Day? Do you want to cover this one, or do we want to move on to another one? Because we have a lot to cover in like a very short amount of time here.
I think we're all going to say it's bullshit.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah.
It's not a hack. It's just literally children. It's the equivalent of children throwing shit in your eyes so you can't see. There's no skill involved. It's just...
The one thing I was going to ask, a follow-up to that, do you believe that they're genuine about how they think that Microsoft and Sony should put forth basically better protection to their service? This is a way of showing Microsoft and Sony the weakness of their service, their security?
No, I think that's bullshit, but I think it's bullshit that Sony and Microsoft are so easy to attack in that way, because there are complex ways of doing it and there are simple ways of doing it, but a huge company like that with such a huge network that's vulnerable to that type of thing, it's PSN was down for what, 3 days?
It's like 3 days, ridiculous. Yeah. Well, see, that's what I want to ask too, and Jess, you probably would be able to tell us better than anybody else. So Microsoft, the Xbox Live was back up in 24 hours, and PSN took 3 days, right? Do you think that because the PSN is brand new to being a paid service, that they don't have maybe the infrastructure or the engineers that Xbox Live might have?
No. I mean, they might not put as much emphasis on it because Sony is kind of more of a focuses on more things than just, Microsoft is known for PCs, Windows, etc., Xbox, and maybe they put more focus on the security. They saw it coming, but no, they're huge. They should know that shit. It's ridiculous.
I think the whole exposing the weakness thing is PR dog shit from Lizard Squad or whoever the fuck did it.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as this. No matter what you are talking about, if you want to, like, show somebody that they're weak somewhere, you do it quickly. It's a temporary fail state that you put them in, and then you let them out. And you go, right, that can happen whenever the fuck I want for as long as I want. You need to fix your shit. Dragging it out for 3 fucking days over a time of the year when you know that you're fucking with people's shit. Like, there's kids out there who have been waiting for their fucking, consoles and stuff. They get them. Christmas Day is this great thing, and then they can't play their games. I'm real simple when it comes to Christmas, and you just don't fuck with Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I'm an atheist. I don't care about religion. Don't fuck with people's Christmas. I've seen people like do really nice things on Christmas that they would never fucking do. I'm real fond of it as a holiday. Leave Christmas the fuck alone. Get your childish bitch ass out of your mom's basement and go up and help her with the fucking turkey. Instead of sitting there being a dick, ruining other people's Christmases.
Yeah.
That
One
was
thing, like,
that
who
was
suffered?
nothing but PR dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who suffered?
we're-
Not Sony and Microsoft. What? Oh no, we couldn't access the store and buy stuff from them? Really, it was the kids who couldn't play their stuff on Christmas.
Yeah, you did nothing but fuck over your compatriot gamers, your brothers in arms.
Yeah.
So
like,
what-
that's all it is to these retards. They think that they've got some kind of clued in special knowledge, as if like DDoSing is even remotely complex or not something that you do by simply downloading the relevant fucking program. You know what I mean? Like, that's all this is. It doesn't take smarts, it doesn't take scriptability, it doesn't take anything. It takes downloading something. It's as difficult for me to DDoS you, Tony, as it is for me to watch an episode of The fucking Wire. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. It's pointless dick measuring. It is Taekwondo to fucking Muay Thai. That's pretty much what it is. It's pretending to be something it will never be. And were it to go up against people who know how to do it better, it will get crushed. And then Kim.com steps in with the whole I'll save the day, and then Anonymous step in with the whole stop or we'll fucking beat you down. And they stop. Because that's a bunch of actual people with abilities when it comes to hacking telling someone to shut the fuck up.
So what I was going to ask, what about the like compensation? People are like screaming for compensation for the PSN and Xbox Live going down.
If they want compensation, they can get it from the parents of Lizard Squad members. Like, should Sony and EA okay, here's the
I don't think they were negligent. I mean, they just shit happens.
Should they have better protections in place? Yes, absolutely. Oh my god. But do they owe you something? Why? Some guy at fucking Sony owes you for missing Christmas because he had to go into work to try and fix this shit? Where's his compensation? Like, the compensation circle runs eternal. Everybody's entitled to fucking something. Where's my compensation? My Christmas Day was ruined watching people fucking bitch about it on Twitter. Where's my compensation? Yeah. You know what I mean? This whole I want something free, that's little more than people trying to get something free to see if it fucking works. It's like, oh, maybe if we all say we want something free, we'll get a free game or something. That's it. You're not entitled. Like, fuck off compensation. Bullshit.
Yep, I agree with that.
It wasn't Sony or Microsoft that ruined your Christmas. It was fucking retards on the internet. Deal with it.
Stupid little script kiddies.
Yeah, I agree.
Say that.
All right, moving on. We're gonna rifle through these things. This is a good one. This one's from Chaos. Topic of YouTubing. So what's the backstory of everyone? Because I'm familiar with Snoov. I followed them since the early days of Battlefield 3. What is the rest of your stories? Ah, I lost it.
Sorry.
Jerk.
Organizing.
Do you have any regrets in becoming a YouTuber, or any regrets from decisions you made along the way? What advice would you give to someone who's starting out? Not necessarily advice on how to become the biggest YouTuber, but to keep it fun, which is why I had to start my own channel. I think it's fun, and keep any viewers happy. I'm going to start with this one, because I actually had a lot to say about this. Since everyone here probably knows the backstory of why I got into it. It wasn't just me, it was Fake Thriller 2, and he left the channel November of last year. So it's been over a year since he's been a part of Shustybang. I don't really have any real regrets. Like, there's some things that maybe I would have done a little differently, but at the same time, not really, because the only things I could look back on and potentially say was a regret, in some people's eyes, they probably see it as like, oh, I bet he regretted that, but in my eyes, no, I really don't regret it. It's all the breaks that I took. This most recent one really fucking killed my channel. Like, it hurt bad. I lost over 1,000 regular views per video upload since that break. And yeah, that sucks, and I wish that didn't happen, but I can't control people's interests, and I can't control people's patience. I did what I had to do, literally in order to survive. I was in a really, really, really bad fucking spot like 6 months ago. Actually 7 months ago, because that was in May, I think, when I took that break. And I didn't think I was coming back. But like, those little breaks I took, and then this significant one where I really fucking genuinely thought the channel was gone, which I think probably a lot of people think that was some sort of publicity stunt by me or some bullshit. But whatever, it is what it is. Like, those had to be done, and I don't regret them. Like I said, they certainly hurt, but I had to do it in order to literally survive at points. And the whole thing behind this was to always be fun and enjoyable. And even though I was making a shit ton of money from the channel during that time before I was making a shit ton of money I mean, I know what some other people make, and compared to some others, it's a drop in the bucket, but compared to others, it's significant. Make it rain with my YouTube money. That wrong. Yeah. The money, as wonderful as it is, what's the point if I'm fucking miserable or I hate what I'm doing and everything? It's just, so I don't regret it. Even though I lost out on a ton of money, like, my money I'm getting like a third of what I used to be getting now. Whatever, it is what it is, because I had to take a break, or there's no point in doing it when I absolutely hated every aspect of it for a little while there. And for little breaks that I took before this most recent one was just because I kind of got burnt out on it, and then this most recent one was because I just had shit going on in life that I was struggling to deal with. On a lighter note, best advice I can give, run with any fucking idea that you have. Seriously, if you're in the midst of actually creating things, or you've got an idea and you want to start creating things, any idea you have, put that shit down on paper. Start hashing it out. Don't ever disqualify a single fucking idea until you run through it from start to finish. Even if at the end of it, after you've produced it, you say, you know what, this didn't come out the way I wanted it to be, it doesn't matter. You need to realize it. You need to grab it, take that shit by the horns, and fucking go. Because you don't know what it's going to be until you actually create something. You may find out that, you know what, that was a lot of effort for something that, in the end, didn't really come to be what I wanted it to. Or it just, you know, maybe people didn't like it, and I don't know, just the effort wasn't worth the paid dividends or whatever. I don't know how else to put it, but don't ever let yourself talk yourself out of doing any idea until you try it. There's a couple of ideas that I had that I let people talk me out of, and that's the other thing. Don't let people talk you out of it if you, unless it's going to be something that, like, that could be truly detrimental, like where you're just gonna go out there and do something that's like a really, really, really high risk kind of venture. But even that, I guess it's all subjective. There's a few things over the years that I was like, oh shit, sorry, I bumped the hell out of my mic. A few things over the years where I thought, you know, that could be a good idea, but I don't know how it's going to be received, and him and hawed about it, and I let it go. And then, you know, like months later, I was like, you know what, I should go back and do it. And it actually came out to be like as awesome as I expected it to be for a number of reasons. Either one, the end outcome was exactly what I had envisioned from the beginning. Or even better is that when it did go up, fucking everyone pounced on it, like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing. One of the things that came to mind was two things. One was the joke video review that we did for the USAS 12 during Battlefield 3. That blew up. That got like 150,000 views, I think, is where it's at right now. Maybe it's like 120-something thousand. And then the other one was last year's Battlefield 4 Christmas special. While it didn't get realized to the exact idea I had in my head, it still came out pretty good, and I was happy with it. It took a lot of work, but that went over really well. Last but not least, keeping viewers happy, that's no secret. Consistency. If you want to be successful on YouTube, you need to be consistent, whether it's your upload schedule or your content. Like, Scanner, I think, without a doubt, has got the best deal going forward. It may not realize into this hugely successful channel like some other channels blew up, because he's got a very broad aspect, but because he's got that broad aspect, you can fucking do whatever the hell you want, and your viewers are going to be there, because that's what they've seen since day one. That's what they've been conditioned to. That's why they're there. Like, this guy does fucking everything, and I dig that. That's why I'm here. So it doesn't matter what you do. Then you got, like, my channel, where our primary focus where we blew up was Battlefield 3. Not only that, but Battlefield 3 weapon reviews. And the moment we strayed from that and uploading every single day, the viewership dropped off, because now we're doing something that wasn't consistent with what they had come to expect as the norm for our content. Look at some of the biggest channels out there that are fucking massive. What do they all have in common? They're doing the same fucking thing they've been doing since day one as far as scheduled content or the actual content itself. And I mean, that, dude, that's it in a nutshell. If you want to marry yourself to one game and uploading every 2 days, as long as you're not a complete tosser, you're gonna blow up on YouTube. It doesn't, well, there's a potential. You have a much higher probability of blowing up than you do with others.
That was very British of you. I think Phoenix would be proud. A tosser.
Tosser. I like that word.
I think it's a tossa.
Tossa.
Yeah, Tossa. Tossa.
Is it A or AH?
It's like AH, tossa.
Tossa. Wild
Some
Bill
shit
Kelso,
like that.
thank you for following, man. Anyways, someone else take over.
I'll talk. I'm in the mood.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm always
Roll with it, bro.
Dude.
My backstory is that I got sick and I quit work, and I was like really sick for a while, too sick to do anything, and then I got back into playing games and kind of, you know, fucking around on the internet, and I figured, fuck it, I'll do my own YouTube channel, and that's why I started. Do I have any regrets in becoming a YouTuber? No. Do I have any regrets from decisions I've made along the way? No. If you're gonna do YouTube, there's no point in regretting anything that you do. Like, I've probably made like bad decisions and all, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and fucking, oh, if only I had done this or that differently, I'd be king of the level caps. Like, you know, who gives a fucking shit? Like, it's videos about games on the internet. It's arguably the least important thing anybody could do with their time ever, is what we do with our time. Like, it's important to keep that sense of realism. The very reason that most of us do it is for that reason. It's this no stress, no worry, just have fun thing that we can do with our spare time. It's an enjoyable and rewarding hobby, and once that's maintained in your head, then you're good to go. And for advice for people who are starting out, I've got a few pieces here. The first one is to be realistic. You're just another person with just another channel, and nobody needs to nobody needs to like reach down and raise you up a level at a time each time. That's not the way it works. Like, it's not gonna happen. But I see a lot of new people in my time on YouTube, a lot of people that like started their channels and they expected everybody that they knew to pitch in on their channel and to be like, oh, you're my friend, I will help you. But that's not the way it works, because you gotta plow your own field and make your own headway and do your own thing. It's not anybody else's job to get you the number of subscribers that you feel entitled to. It's just not the way it works. Decide yourself and for yourself what you want your channel to be, and then work towards that. And if it's just a small little thing, if it's dedicated to 1 billion games, if it's dedicated to one game, you know, it doesn't matter. Just decide it yourself, and then, you know, try and achieve your goal. Figure out how you want to operate ethically. That's a big thing right now because it's important. If you want to be the kind of guy who takes whatever bit of money comes your way to move whatever shitty fucking product is willing to sponsor you, then fine, be that guy. But do not try and bullshit people on what you do or who you are. Don't say it's all about the games and then have it be all about the money. Don't say the money isn't important and then make it painfully clear that the money is actually really fucking important. Mainly because you look fucking stupid and you have no idea the repercussions that making yourself a public persona on the internet can actually have on your real life. Once again, over the last year, I've watched people have their real life destroyed because of gaming on YouTube, and that's terrifying. But their real lives have been destroyed. Like, there's been big YouTubers out there, their marriages have been destroyed, they've been fired from their fucking jobs because of this shit. Like, go into it knowing there's always repercussions, and there always will be, and that's just the way it's gonna be. Don't be a cock is the last piece of advice. The main reason you shouldn't be a cock is, well, I mean, be a cock if you want to be a cock. I'm mostly a cock on my channel about everything and towards everybody, but be honest. Like, don't try and paint yourself as being something you're not. Like, don't be a dick, and then some prick like me is gonna roll up at you on social media and call you out on your horseshit, and then you're gonna be, oh, you just don't understand me. No, I do. You're a complete bellend, and that's really the end of it. Because I'll get my jollies out of that because it entertains me to call people out on their shit, and it entertains like the people who follow me, and it entertains my subs, so it's win-win because we've got that mentality. But
I find it entertaining.
It's not going to entertain the person that I'm calling out. They're going to try and sit there and protest forever about how it doesn't bother me what you think. It obviously does. This is your 20th fucking chain tweet to me about how little you care about my opinion. Like, the evidence is strongly in favor of you actually caring a lot about my opinion. The easiest thing to do on YouTube, be yourself. I am no different on YouTube or now than I am in the real world. And if you've seen me call anyone a dick on Twitter or call them out over their shit, if I was at a convention and that person walked up to me and went to shake my hand as if like it's somehow different in real life, I'd be like, buddy, get the fuck out of my face. That's just the way I am. Everybody else wants to like smooth sailing and all be friends. Fuck that. I want to sink your fucking boat because it amuses me. That's all right. Just be you. If you're gonna do YouTube, be you.
Be your hate-filled self.
Exactly. Like if you're really good at games, then be really good at games. Make that your thing. But if you're really bad at games, but you're funny as fuck, don't try to make it appear like you're really good at games. Just be funny and people will fucking love you for that shit. And if you're both, you're probably going to end up having a huge channel. So, fair fucks to you.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Damn. Because, you know, there was that time when I think we all sort of collectively got into it. You had to be like a good, you know, gamer, or else people wouldn't watch your videos. If you weren't like, you know, Snoo remembers this, you know, if you weren't like a 2+ KD person in Call of Duty, why would anyone watch your videos? Didn't matter what you had to say.
Right.
So,
well, a lot of that had to do with the game too. Like Call of Duty has always been like a fucking KDR ruled kind of community and game. I think had either one of us started out on say like Battlefield Bad Company and taken the same approach that we have pretty much since day one, but with that game, we probably would have found more success because what we tried to do, we tried to fit a square peg in a round hole with the type of content we were doing for the game we were playing when we were posting on YouTube. Like we tried to do like a more serious overtone and more tactical kind of approach with Call of Duty, and for the most part, no one gives a fuck about that with Call of Duty. I think that's why we found more success with Battlefield 3, because that's what people wanted to see inside the Battlefield community. It was a lot more teamwork oriented. People took it a lot more seriously. It was just an overall much more mature, more open-minded community at the time. I don't know about now so much.
Yeah, that died a death.
Yeah, now it's... I mean, I'm not one to say much now because, as someone points out in my most recent Battlefield video, fucking Colonel doing C4 bikes, fuck this.
I saw that.
That's the game, though. People change over time. Like I used to love to win. Like back in the PS3 days, I had my groups of people that I played with. Like before I like connected up with all you guys, I had my VFI clan, and we used to ruffle fucking stomp people on, like, the other team would just kick the shit out of them religiously, and eventually get to the point where we were so bored of kicking the shit out of them that we'd play entire rounds just with sidearms. Like, that'd be our thing. We'd be like, right, it's sidearms only now. Have you ever played Rush on Damavan Peak attacking with just sidearms?
No, but now I want to try it.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. And we would ruffle stomp people.
What pistol? I have to ask.
Whatever pistol you want. So because it was me, it was always M1911.
I was just going to say that!
But, like, that slowly kind of... What was big for me, actually, what was huge for me, was because on PS3, for the most part, I got quite good. I got good at games, but two things completely changed my attitude towards gaming, quote unquote, for YouTube, as in, like, knowing that the gameplays could end up on the internet with other people watching them. Two things were huge for me. One, the switch to PC, because I was garbage. Like, with mouse and keyboard, it was like a dolphin trying to fucking play Battlefield. It was fucking disgraceful. Like, big fucking flappers, just, what the fuck am I doing? And that was great for me, because to be completely knocked off my skill perch and start off needing to learn everything again was fantastic. And the other, like, huge thing for me was the first time I ever played with Mustard, Barbaric Mustard. That was like a revelatory moment for me personally, and my attitude towards gaming, because the first night we played together, everything went wrong. No matter what we tried to do, it went wrong. If we tried to C4 a tank, the tank saw us and ran us over. If we tried to C4 buggy a tank, the tank fucking blew us up. If we tried to get in a helicopter, we got creamed by the people in the other fucking helicopter. And for 2 hours of getting our asses beat, Mustard broke his shit laughing for every fucking minute. And he really fucking enjoyed himself, because it was all hilarious to him. It didn't matter what happened, whether he won a gunfight or lost a gunfight. It was fucking hilarious. And that was a real wake-up call for me, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be enjoying playing the game. And it was just one session with Mustard that fucking put that in my head.
I don't know who it was that kind of brought that to my attention, but the same thing happened to me with Battlefield 4, and that's why I've been enjoying it and playing it on a semi-regular basis now, although DayZ's kind of really taken over the majority of my focus. But yeah, life is all about attitude. Gaming is no different. And my outlook and attitude changed when I realized that I cannot enjoy Battlefield 4 the way I used to enjoy Battlefield 3, because they're not the same game. So I just had to change it. And there are other different ways to enjoy it. For me, that's just sniping people, because I'm not that great at it. So when I get in, like, crazy fights for my life and I just miss like 20 fucking shots in a row, I bust my ass laughing, because I know how absurd it must look on there, and like, look at this fucking guy, what a scrub. and then when I land those like crazy C4 throws, when you get just the right angle and you fucking heave it and you get like multi-kills, it's just like that's what's fun to me. But that, like Scanner said, the big thing is the game should be fun. And however you make that happen, I mean, then great. And they're not to say you have to make a game fun. There's certainly going to be some games where you just flat out don't like it, and that's fine. But there's enough going on in Battlefield 4 that I can appreciate it for what it gives me for my entertainment value now.
How in the fuck did we get talking about Battlefield 4? We're talking about YouTube, damn it.
We always end up talking about Battlefield 4.
I
man.
know. I'm just
just kind of related.
Well, I was waiting for him to like get around to coming around to like hitting back on YouTube and like posting shit that you love doing, and then it was just like, boop, like what the fuck? We always do that. We always get stuck in Battlefield somehow.
Snoov always gets distracted.
I do.
That's the
I
problem.
don't. I made the connection there and I rolled with it. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Hardline will be out soon, and then we'll have a whole new experience to endlessly fucking circle jerk around.
So,
That's true.
host question here. Raise your hand if you pre-ordered. What? What? Go
We're
ahead.
not done with this one. Me and Tony didn't go.
Well, no, it was no. It was
Who's
just
the
in
most
relation.
important people to this podcast.
It was just in relation. It's. I'm not gonna deter from it. It was in relation to what Skinner just said about Hardline. I just want to know from the four of us here who pre-ordered Hardline with that G2A $37 code. Raise your hands.
You
I
did, you
fucking bought
fucker.
it.
Scanner did too. I want to see who else in the chat pre-ordered it
I'm not
because
even messing. If a fucking homeless man's willing to shit in my face for half price, I'll probably fucking pay him.
like I said, my moral self battled with my cheap ass self. My cheap ass self won. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scanner Tony and Poner.
Apparently Tony's gone. I'll start. Back on the actual topic that we were talking about. YouTube story. My YouTube story is I had no YouTube story. I was working on Battlefield, that Battlefield site back in the day. And I was doing fuck all with YouTube until some random guy on Twitter. I was on Twitter at like 2 a.m. and this random guy was bored and he struck up a conversation with me and I ended up playing with him once in a while. And apparently this random guy was Pwn Star for hire and he demanded that I start making videos because he said, oh my god, I need to do it. And so I did, and then coming around 4 years or so later, I am back to giving zero fucks about YouTube. But I am really glad that I did it because I have made some amazing friends, the friends that are in this podcast with me, probably because of YouTube. And that is worth any, expended energy and stupid shit. My regrets would be that I let other people tell me how to run my channel at first. I listened to some terrible advice that included... I can hear myself in the speakers. That's weird. I listened to some terrible advice that included wear low-cut shirts and show your boobs and talk about sex and boobs and put your face in all your thumbnails and put your tits in your thumbnails and just a load of bullshit that just wasn't me at all, obviously. So, I decided I was not an object to be oogled by you men, and that I didn't want to cater to 12-year-olds, so I got drunk and swore a lot instead, because I'm a real adult.
Exactly,
And-
that's how adults live.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So my
that's true.
advice is, if you're in it for the money or fame, you already lose. You, like we've been saying, make content because it's fun, and you will attract people to you that like the same things, and it'll just be a better experience overall. Don't be discouraged by minimal views. It'll grow, and if it doesn't, fuck it. You should be having fun. That should be why you're doing it.
Dude, I want to echo your point.
He spurned the shit out of you, Jess.
They should
What?
stop doing it and the views went up.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Shit, that's awesome.
She covered up. I can watch again. That was good.
Dick. I am not marrying you anymore. Take your nasty money back, you bastard.
That's fucking great.
Anyway,
Oh
before I
my
was
God.
rudely interrupted. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people that just get started on YouTube, they kind of like go full steam when really you should start kind of slow and small. Like you don't want to be doing like 3 videos a day on your 5 subscriber channel because the videos are just going to get lost. So
Right.
you want to do like
Nobody wants 3
few a
minutes
week.
anyways.
Quality over quantity.
exactly, and maybe shorter, like under 10 minutes. People will have the attention span of a fucking 5-year-old.
Right. You gotta temper your expectations too. This is a fucking completely different scene than it was when I started. I mean, as of March, I've been doing this for 5 years. And when Fake Thrill and I jumped onto the scene in March 2010, it was like at that point it was kind of starting to take off. Where there was already a couple of channels that were pretty big, but a lot of these guys that are huge haven't even started yet at that point. So when you see these, when you see some of these bigger guys, and if you're familiar with their history and you see where their success came from early on, they had pretty good growth. Dude, you gotta remember, I mean, at that point there was only like maybe a couple of thousand gaming channels at that point. Whereas at this point, there's got to be like 60 or 70,000 gaming channels. That's got to be a very, very fucking conservative guess too. So you have to temper your expectations, and as Jess said, patience. People see my channel, and granted I'm not getting anything for views compared to what we used to, but we have 51,000 subscribers. That didn't happen overnight. We went through, I want to say like 14 or 15 months or something like that, a little over a year before we even hit 1,000 subscribers. It requires patience and dedication.
Peasant.
You shush.
Sorry.
Little Miss 7,000. Wrecked.
I screeched to a halt at 7. I got 5,000 in like a month and then stopped making videos.
Yeah, but
my last point was make friends, because like if someone just sends you YouTube, and like YouTube messages used to be a bigger thing because they were more prominent, but
yeah,
one of my friend Zirkos Clayton, he's one of my closest friends now, and he is the first person who sent me a YouTube message. And so don't be afraid to kind of reach out and talk to people if they talk to you, because there's some cool people out there.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point as well. Talk to people where you're interested in the person, not where you're interested in their sub count, because it's so easy to smell that sub count hunting shit.
Yeah.
Like a mile away. Like I've said it before. Like the fucking dude. Maybe the week that I would have first done something with like, fucking Snoov, the friend requests on assorted, battle logs and shit were just nuts. Not because anybody wanted to be friends with me, because they thought if they were in my game they'd get to play with Snoov. Because back then Snoov, back then Snoov was actually somebody in the scene, as opposed to now no one gives a fuck about it.
I did used to be somebody.
You used to be a guy, and now you're just fucking stupid.
I mean, I still have somewhat of a presence, so can we maybe tone down the shit talking just a little bit?
But that's funny though, because I've got like 1/10 of your subscribers. I've probably got 10 times the presence of you, which is terrifying and shows you exactly what people value. I guess they value loud-mouthed Irish fucks, which is interesting. But yeah, never hunt the connection because of a sub count, because that person who's bigger than you is also probably a little more experienced at YouTube than you are, and they can see you coming. That's just the way it is.
Yep,
that is true. That is true. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I remember I got a couple of messages when I had an Xbox, and one guy kept sending me messages because he saw my PSN, and it was very similar to my Xbox Live gamer tag. He kept sending me messages. Basically, he wanted to use me as an intermediary between me and him and Snoov. So it was just like, hey, tell Snoov I love his videos. He's like, hey, can I play with Snoov? I was like, what the fuck, man? It was so random.
Remember playing with Jake in a game? Fucking one night we were on like I remember distinctly that we were playing Aftermath on BF3, and there's this guy just splooging up the chat because fucking he's in a lobby with In The Works, and
dude, I remember that.
He's like, oh, In The Works, say hello to me, and I'm like, yo, Jake, some dude is completely jerking off about your presence here in the chat. And Jake starts really kind of talking some shit like, oh, what a fucking dope, what an idiot, blah blah blah. I live commed the whole fucking thing and put it up.
Oh my god.
My channel. Oh shit.
Oh man.
It was awesome. Jesus, remember I used to be so fucking polite?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You see, everybody's gonna say no, but they're full of fucking shit, right?
No. There was a time.
Scanner's lying earlier when he said that he's the same online as he is in real life. That's a fucking lie. When we first met him, he's like, shit, I can't be an asshole off the bat. These guys are never gonna be friends with me. I gotta get in their good books first.
I was just giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, if these guys want to play with me, they can't be all bad, right?
True.
That's
no, dude, the funny thing is when I first met Scanner, it was all about like he was super shy to talk to us at first, and then like once the ice broke, it was like all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it was. That's the because Tony, you're one of the first people that I would have spoken to.
Oh yeah.
That I met on YouTube. So like the anxiety issues were raging.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like it was a big deal for me to even talk to other fucking people. But one of the things I made sure of whenever I played with anybody for the first time, and I still actually do this, it doesn't matter if they're like a much smaller channel, a much bigger channel, or if they don't even really like do YouTube, you know, if they're just like dudes that I know from around Twitter and whatnot. Generally speaking, the first time I play with somebody, I'll always mention to them that comms will be recorded, and if they don't want me to use live comms with them in it, then I won't. It's like it's a little manners thing that I think is missing on a lot of people sometimes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Man.
I ask before I at least say I'm streaming or something.
Yeah, I ask you
Get
once.
the fuck out if you don't like it.
That's my thing. I ask you once. After that, you're fucked. After that, I record every private conversation I have with people.
Oh, good.
And then I just layer it over. I layer it over gameplay as if we're like in TS, you know. That's how I'll break exclusive stories like Snoov crying when he dropped his fucking muffin and all that kind of shit.
Is that another fat joke, you fucking prick?
No. Nobody knows. Everybody knows that was a fucking lie, dude. Because there's no fucking way you drop a fucking food item.
Oh,
wrap that shit real tight.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, Omar! Thank you for the pledge. We just got another $5 pledge.
Omar.
Nice.
You guys are the fucking best, man.
Dude, seriously, it's fucking great. Oh, who else? Hey, sorry, I missed a follow there. Eat on Fam1. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, we're rocking. Yeah.
So, I'll go. I'll make mine real quick because I see we're kind of running long here. But when I started YouTube, I was during the Call of Duty Black Ops days 1. I remember watching Hutch's videos, and I just dug what he was doing. He was very he did these like very personal commentaries, and at that time I had just moved in with my grandmother here, who when I was taking care of her, you know, she's an Alzheimer's patient, and I was looking for an outlet because I didn't really have one, and so gaming and gameplay commentaries became my own sort of personal outlet to sort of express the things that I couldn't otherwise express. And so I guess to a certain point it was kind of therapeutic because I could talk about whatever the hell I wanted to talk about, and I could be as deep and emotional, I guess. I did a couple of commentaries that were pretty emotional commentaries for me. And so if I were to give some advice to somebody who wants to start up a YouTube channel, it sounds so like cliche, but you know, try to make sure, and we've already said this, but try to make sure you have your own voice. Like you want to be somebody, well, you want to be you, basically. You know, you don't want to emulate somebody else. You don't want to put out content that basically you're mirroring content that other people are putting out, because what you find out really quickly is that people are subscribing to you and not to the game that you put out nowadays. Like it used to be, you know, people would subscribe in mass to Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever channels, but now people stay around for your personality. You know, people don't stay around, you know, for Scanner's beard. You know, they stay around for his personality and his deep thoughts. And you know, and for Snoov, I don't know why they stay around for Snoov, but
me either.
That, you know, and that's I've had a number of people comment on my videos. They're like, you know what? Hey, look, you're not doing Battlefield anymore. You're doing iRacing. I'm not really a racing fan, but I'm staying around because I like what you're doing. Like, whenever I do get around to making these more just sort of off-topic commentaries about whatever it is I want to talk about, that's what they like. like the Tuesdays with Tony that I stopped doing, like, God, like almost 2 years ago now. People dug those. They didn't get very many views, but the people that watched them really liked them, and I've had a lot of requests to do those again. I just haven't had time. So that's what I would suggest. Make sure that you're not going to emulate somebody else. That you're going to have your own voice. Be you. Don't try to copy anybody else. And I would say one of the biggest regrets that I have is you know what? I got into the trend of wanting to be that guy that posted a video, the first video of the brand new game that came out, even if I was just slightly interested in it. And I remember I bought, it was Red Faction Armageddon, I think. And I wanted to do a Let's Play of that. And I posted probably like 3 or 4 videos of that before I stopped. I'm terrible with Let's Plays, so I don't know why I even bothered. But I went through a period where I was going out and probably 3 or 4 games a month. I was buying brand new games because I wanted to strike while the iron was hot. I was, contrary to what I'm doing now, I was shooting for views and subscribers, and it was during a period where I was gaining a lot of views and a lot of subscribers. So it was kind of like an addiction, when you see those numbers coming in and you've got 100 subscribers sort of coming and going, or piling up. It's really it's, I don't want to say it's addictive, but it kind of is. It fuels you. And then when you hit those static periods, you're just like, well, I don't really want to do it right now because I don't have any growth. So that's kind of that was pretty much one of the only regrets. I ran into a couple people that were, they had these grand business proposals that fell through, and I was associated with them, but it's not like anything but my time and my effort came out of it. But I should have done, this is a regret. This is back when League of Legends was like this very small thing that only a handful of people had heard about. I should have fucking started playing that game way back then before all these people started playing that crap, man. This was like 2 years before League of Legends became huge. This guy was like, oh, this game, you should try it out. I'm like, nah, it's not my thing. Don't worry about it, But people were getting these mad views on these videos. And it was just like, man, if only I would have sold my soul and started playing a game I don't like playing. Where would I be today?
You could be a millionaire by now, dude.
Yeah, right. But if there's anyone in the chat who remembers, there was a channel called The Button Mashers, and that was the channel that was trying to get partnered, and that was the first channel I tried to get partnered with. And there might be videos still online, I'm not sure, but The Button Mashers apparently turned into a gigantic League of Legends video and or a channel. I don't know if they're still around or not. I might have to look them up.
Shit, I just realized something. I gotta state, there is, I don't know if I regret it because I just like plow on ahead anyway, but there's definitively a mistake that I made in my time on YouTube that I should definitely say in the interest of honesty. And that's signing with motherfucking Machinima.
Oh, really?
That was a massive, really early in the life of my channel, not really knowing what was up, schoolboy error that I made. And then to like tangent some advice into it is consider very, very carefully who you choose to partner with.
Yep.
Should you reach that point, which isn't very difficult now anyway, like these days. It certainly wasn't difficult for me to do when I fucking started. But really think about it, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm glad, like, truthfully, if I had like really pushed and consciously made an effort to grow my channel, I'd be making money from Machinima. I wouldn't be making money from me. That would be roughly the way it actually worked out. So expect about another year of me slow burning my channel. And then I'll really start to after that I'll see if there's anything I can make of it, but it's of no benefit to me to do that now. So yeah, there you go.
Speaking of Machinima, I just got an email today saying thank you for your patience. We are still trying to get in contact with our legal team to resolve this issue. For anyone that doesn't remember what this is about, I contacted them in October of 2013 to have the channel ownership swapped from Fake Thriller to myself. October 2013. It is still not done. Not only is it not done, they still haven't even gotten in touch with their fucking legal team about it.
God damn.
That
You know-
is
you know
just
why?
one prime example of how fucking awful Machinima is.
They probably fired their fucking legal team.
They said that
guarantee their
8
legal
months
team-
ago. 8
their
months ago,
legal team
Scanner.
Right now, their legal team right now is some guy called fucking Jer who lives out the back of a 7-Eleven in a fucking dumpster. That's their legal team.
Jam Haas, thank you for following.
They get his opinion on stuff when they go down to buy their sandwiches.
Dude, it was. That would actually
It's
be
just-
giving their legal team credit at this point. Like
It's just bad. Like they're really unorganized, and it's all falling apart for them from what I can see, and it has been for a very long time.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see this channel, this company just fucking tank. There are very few companies out there that deserve all the bad things that should happen to them, and it's gonna suck because there's certainly a few good people that are still there that are gonna lose their jobs, but they're good people. I'm sure they've got plenty of industry contacts. They'll get in with other companies. But man, that company is run by and filled with fucking terrible, awful people that do not give a flying fuck about the people that make them money. They drove that shithole into the ground from the word go, trying to maximize their profits, hoping for a big fucking payout. And when push came to shove, and these big companies like Disney, when they came through, and they saw Machinima, and even though Machinima was head and shoulders above everyone else as far as overall sub count, they looked at their track record, they looked at how shitty of a presence they had in the community, and they said, fucking no way, I'm not touching it with a 50-foot pole. And then that's where you got Maker Studios, I believe it was, that sold to Disney for $500 million. That's what they got, because as far as I know, they were a better company. They may not have been great, but they were certainly better than Machinima. Machinima shot themselves in their own fucking foot, and I am laughing my ass off every single day their name comes up, and no one will touch them at all. I am so happy. Nothing makes me happier than seeing shit companies with shit business practices not getting fucking anywhere. That company dug its own grave years ago, and it's just slowly declining, and I can't wait to see that fucker burn to the ground.
Yeah, they weren't
It's
the
funny,
only ones. They went through that YouTuber snatch and grab. You know, let's get as many as possible. You know, we've been talking about this for YouTubers, and it's the same thing with partnering companies. Is that it's all about quantity and not quality.
Yep.
Or quality, not quantity. Excuse
Right.
me.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I heard it. I heard it in my head the way you
Yeah,
meant to
I
say
said it. I was like, wait, I was meaning to say it the other way.
Yeah. I actually have to send them a formal letter canceling my my partnership. I got to get it in like the next 2 weeks. I got to get in at least 60 days before the end of my contract, or I go into an automatic renewal
Well,
for
you're
another
fucked,
year.
because they don't have a fucking legal team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter because it doesn't really have to go through their legal team. It just goes through their partner program, or whoever's the director of their partnering. And the way I can get through it to make sure they absolutely get it is send a notarized, like either handwritten or at least typed out letter that's actually hand signed, and then send it like through the fucking USPS, and make sure you get a receipt of delivery in the whole 9 yards. So there is and take pictures of it and shit as you before you send it. No joke. That is the only foolproof way that they can't come back and say, well, we never got your letter. Like, fuck that, you didn't. I have right here legal documentation from the U.S. government saying that you took delivery of my letter. Say all you want, but now I have the legal case over you guys, and if push comes to shove, I mean, like I said, it might be kind of like insignificant in some people's eyes, but this company's so fucking bad. I will do whatever it takes to get out of it, and if it means I gotta sue to get out of it, I'll do it. But as long as I've got legally binding paperwork, documents to back up that I went through all of the required steps to get out of my contract, I'm in good standing. And they'll honor. And I'll point that out. Like, I don't want to fucking go to court over this. I don't want to drag this bullshit out. I want to be fucking out in the middle of March when my contract is up with them and go sign with someone else. I've already got an offer on the table through Full Screen, which is going to pay a lot fucking better than what I'm at. And I've got leverage. If I really want to, I can use that as leverage to get an even better contract with someone else. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to say, look, I have I have a standing offer on the table, written agreement with Full Screen. Would you, and I could use that to get with a better, oh shit, I can't remember who the network is. I talked to Jack Frags asking him his thoughts
Whoa,
and opinions.
whoa! You need to sign with full screen so I can get my fucking movie check.
I know. Well, listen, I asked other people, and they did not come up as a list of recommended. not that anything bad was said, but there was other networks that were suggested. But getting with them might be a little difficult because I don't have the views I used to. I mean, if we were talking like 2 years ago, I could fucking sign with anybody.
I was just about to say, you better hope these people stay looking at your sub count, not your fucking view count.
Right.
Oh.
Keep their eyes at the top of the fucking page, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Smart business.
So anyway, do we have time to hit one more topic, or should we wrap this up for the night and save it all for next week?
We'll wrap it.
Okay. That would probably be the best bet. Yeah, because the rest of these are fucking fairly heavy-hitting topics, and you guys have a lot to say. I didn't have anything to add to these. I didn't get down to those. That's okay. It's not a big deal. So, I guess light overall on the topics themselves, but heavy discussion per topics tonight, which is always good. I like to get really, really in depth and cover everything in as much depth as possible when we get into any topics. Tonight was a good night. I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Tonight was a heavy flow night. It was a good night.
Sorry, I got distracted by the chat.
Tony.
Did you just say what I
I
thought?
just got that.
Yeah.
Fucking
I was like, I was waiting. I'm sitting here just like,
You,
okay.
the look on you're like,
I was like, I was also looking at that picture that Lee tweeted at you.
I didn't even get to see it yet. I haven't gotten that far.
Oh god, it's hilarious.
Checking my phone. All right, so that's gonna be it. We're gonna wrap it up. Jess, will you do me a favor, please, and throw the link back up into the chat again for next week's topic. I did it a few minutes ago, but if you could do it again, please, would appreciate it. Punisher, uncomfortable pause.
Happy birthday,
sorry.
Crazy Man.
Who?
Crazy Man.
Oh, Crazy Man. Happy birthday, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, and if you guys have anything you want us to discuss next week, go ahead and drop your topic suggestions into the forum topic thread thingy that Jess linked to in the chat. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. If you don't understand it, you have my sympathies. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. If you could do me a favor and take a moment, you follow us on Twitter. You can see, obviously, our Twitter handles underneath our names, on our faces. We all talk stupid shit pretty much most of the time, except for Tony on Twitter, because Tony's dumb. It's okay, Tony. You're dumb, I'm fat. We both have our weaknesses.
we really?
We all have to play our role in life.
What did Lee do? Oh, you're looking at the picture? I haven't gotten to the picture. Alright, I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. We're going to close it out. You guys all have a wonderful night. No Jam Hospital handing out a prize yet. And, hey, unless we get that Patreon kick in. Like I said, with the Patreon, we've budgeted out every single dollar and like the percentage of every dollar that comes in.
There's a spreadsheet. It's
Yep.
sexy.
We've been planning this for months. We started back in September. We know where every single penny is going, and percentage of every dollar that is donated or is pledged to the Patreon is set aside for giveaways. So the more money we get, the more often we can do giveaways. There's no set time frame. It's all dictated by how much money we end up getting. So, but yeah, giveaways are certainly in the future. Other than that, that's gonna wrap it up. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon, I'll drop it into the chat in a second, unless the opponent beats me to it. You all have a wonderful night, and for the podcast itself, we will see you guys next Monday, same time, same place. But if things go well for me this week, I will be live streaming some probably DayZ or Battlefield 4 later this week. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. We'll catch you guys later. Eldon, thank you. Eldon just pledged $5 a month. What a fucking champ! Kicking ass tonight. You guys rock. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Oh man, what was it? Omar.
Eldon.
Thank you, Eldon. You guys
Omar's
all rock. I gotta say thank you, Billy the Kid. He's not here. I didn't see his name, but he was actually our first pledger. So thank you guys. Like, I'm at a loss for words. Like, this is fucking awesome. You guys are great. You're making this thing happen for us, and that's awesome. I'm done. If I don't stop now, we'll never stop. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.